If you're planning a Sydney to Brisbane road trip, you're probably wondering where to stop, how long it takes, and what's actually worth seeing along the way. I've done this drive countless times over the years, and I can tell you it's one of Australia's best road adventures. Today, I'll share my suggested stops to help you plan your trip. So whether you're road tripping by car or camper, this guide is written for first-time visitors who want a smooth, scenic East Coast experience. The whole drive from Sydney to Brisbane is about 900 kilometres along the M1 Pacific motorway, but since the motorway doesn't hug the coastline, you'll need to detour into towns to reach many of the best beaches and attractions. If you're short on time, you can still cover the highlights in 1 week. I've linked a blog in the description below containing a suggested 7-day itinerary and a specially pinned map to show you where everything is. Sydney is the perfect place to start your East Coast road trip. As Australia's most famous city, it offers a mix of world-class attractions, beaches and culture that's worth dedicating at least 2 to 3 days before hitting the highway north. I recommend spending at least 5 days in Sydney, giving you time to see the main highlights, enjoy the beaches and take a day trip to the Blue Mountains for a completely different landscape of waterfalls, walking trails and clifftop views. However, if you're short on time, you could spend 24 hours exploring the Sydney icons like the Harbour Bridge, the Pylon Lookout, Opera House, Sydney Tower Eye, Mrs Macquarie's Chair, and Circular Quay, before catching the ferry to Manly or Taronga Zoo for unbeatable views back towards the skyline. If you love coastal walks, the Bondi to Coogee track is a must. It's an easy way to stretch your legs before long driving days and gives you a taste of Sydney's outdoor lifestyle. For food, try local favourites in the Rocks or head to Banger for harbourside dining. For detailed tips on how to get around efficiently, check out my guide on how to use the public transport in Sydney, which I've linked below. It's the easiest and most affordable way to explore the city before you start heading your coastal drive north, especially when parking can be expensive. Just south of Swansea lies a hidden gem known as the Sea Caves Beach, a coastal spot where nature has carved dramatic caves into the cliffs. Accessible only during low tide, these caves reveal a surreal landscape of echoing chambers, smooth rock walls, and ocean views framed by stone arches. Unfortunately, we passed at the wrong time and the tide was actually too high, which meant we could only see it from the outside. But even from the outside or the lookout above, the views are gorgeous, making it a worthwhile stop. Just a couple of hours north, Newcastle has transformed from an industrial port into one of New South Wales' most underrated coastal getaways. For a first-time visitor, it feels like a relaxed blend of city and surf, and it's one of my favourite stops on the drive from Sydney to Brisbane. Start your visit at Nobby's Beach, the ocean baths, or the canoe pool, a couple of the best swimming spots on the East Coast. Then you can walk the Anzac Memorial Walk, a cliff-top path with amazing views. Finish with lunch at Derby Street, home to cafes, craft breweries and boutiques. For those who love architecture and history, the Newcastle Museum and Fort Scratchley are worth an hour or two of your time. Just an hour north of Newcastle, Port Stephens is where the pace slows down again and the coastline opens up. This region is known for its towering sand dunes, marine life and crystal clear bays, making it one of the most photogenic stops on a Sydney to Brisbane road trip. If you've only got a short time, please make sure you climb the Tomaree Head Summit Walk. The views over Shoal Bay is spectacular, especially at sunrise. Then spend the afternoon at 1 Mile Beach or Fingal Bay, where you can swim, paddleboard or just relax. For adventure, try sandboarding at the Stockton Sand Dunes or book a dolphin and whale watching cruise from Nelson Bay. It's one of the very few places in New South Wales where you can reliably see both. For great seafood, try Little Beach Boathouse or the Anchorage Restaurant. We're leaving the coast for a day and taking an inland tour from Bellingen, one of New South Wales' prettiest small towns. The drive itself is known as Waterfall Way. It's one of Australia's most scenic routes, filled with lookouts, rainforests and cascading waterfalls. Bellingen has a creative bohemian vibe with art galleries, heritage pubs and the community markets, which are held monthly. Nearby, Dorrigo National Park offers the rainforest walks. the Skywalk Lookout, and the trails to Crystal Shower Falls, where you can actually walk behind the waterfall. Just be careful not to slip. Ebor Falls contains 2 sections, and while it's hard to see the entire falls in one go, you can get close to the 2 sections, which are linked by a boardwalk path. And then Dangar Falls has both a lookout point and a way to get to the falls for swimming. You can easily fill an entire day exploring waterfalls or swimming in the Never Never River, followed by dinner at one of the town's farm-to-table restaurants. Coffs Harbour is a major tourist hub and a good place to rest to restock before heading north. While it's often known for the Big Banana, there is much more to see if you stay a day or two. Visit Muttonbird Island Nature Reserve for a short walk with panoramic views of the harbour at the summit and relax on Jetty Beach. If you're travelling with kids, the Big Banana Fun Park offers mini golf, slides and laser tag, which can be a nice break from all the driving. I really like the clog barn, where you can view the Dutch wooden clogs being made every day. Otherwise, you can walk through the miniature village out the back or taste test the Dutch cafe next door. I enjoyed the mini pancakes for morning tea. The Solitary Islands Marine Park is fun for snorkeling or diving, with calm, clear water just offshore. I did some diving here a few years ago, but the visibility wasn't that great, so I will have to try it again one day. Ballina often gets overshadowed by Byron Bay, but it is a great stop in its own right, just quieter, more affordable, and filled with natural beachside beauty. The Ballina Coastal Walk stretches for several kilometres with ocean views, starting near Shelley Beach and ending at the Lighthouse Lookout. For families, Shore Bay is a safe swimming spot, and you can use the walkway out to the wall to watch hundreds of dolphins swimming through the waterways or whales breaching in the distance. One of its biggest highlights is its addition to the Big Things of Australia series with the Big Prawn. I remember seeing it for the first time about 20 years ago, and while it's had a facelift and moved locations, it's still a quirky Instagram photo spot. Byron Bay is the beating heart of Australians' surf culture, and no drive from Sydney to Brisbane is complete without stopping here. It was always known as a hippie village for me, the kind of place where you could sit barefoot, spend a few hours in a cafe, or watch street performers as the sun sets over the hinterland. But with it comes the crowds, traffic, and it's not always my favourite place to stop on school holidays. And yes, Chris Hemsworth, Thor himself, has a house here, but unfortunately I still haven't managed to run into him yet. Start your day early with the Cape Byron Lighthouse Walk, which also happens to be the most easterly point of mainland Australia. In the evenings, head to the Stone and Wood Brewery for drinks and meals, but you could also join one of their tours to learn about their brewing process. Nearby Killen Falls offers a rainforest walk to a waterfall and natural pool for swimming. The viewing platform is an easy stroll, but if you're keen for a swim, the path to the base is steep and can get slippery, so please wear good shoes. Additionally, Crystal Castle is a peaceful retreat that is all about mindfulness, healing, and natural beauty. Wander through the gardens filled with giant geodes and gemstones, or try guided meditation. We happened to visit when the Guato monks of Tibet were actually there on their first day tour, and listening to their chanting was unforgettable. Over the years, we've dived here countless times. The Julian Rocks Marine Reserve is one of Australia's best subtropical dive sites, home to manta rays, leopard sharks, turtles, and hundreds of fish species. Crossing the Queensland border brings you to the Gold Coast, famous for its beaches, theme parks, and urban skyline. But beyond the high-rises, there is an incredible mix of nature and culture worth exploring. For first-time visitors, visit Burleigh Heads National Park, which has a short coastal hike with rainforest sections and ocean lookouts. Surfers Paradise offers nightlife, shopping and dining, and the experiences like the Sky Point Observation Deck. While families will love the Gold Coast theme parks like Dreamworld, Movie World and Wet n Wild. If you prefer nature, take a day trip inland to the Gold Coast Hinterland, where you can visit Springbrook National Park and Natural Bridge. Wildlife can be found all over the national park, but if you want an easier option, the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary ticks off many animals on your bucket list in the one place. Your road trip ends or begins in Brisbane, Queensland's vibrant capital city. It's a great place to unwind, offering plenty to do without the rush of larger capitals. This is my local city, and you can start exploring at Southbank, the city's cultural hub. You'll find Streets Beach, an inner-city lagoon, plus the Wheel of Brisbane for panoramic photo opportunities. The precinct is packed with museums, art galleries and restaurants that spill out onto the river. I often suggest ending the day with a cocktail at the Emporium Hotel rooftop bar, especially as the sun dips behind the skyline. Across the river, the Brisbane city side has its own charm. You can visit the Star Casino for a night out, take a trip up to the old school clock tower in City Hall, which still offers free tours, or head to the Brisbane Skydeck for sweeping views from 250 metres above the ground. I think sunset's at its best here too. The City Botanic Gardens and Kangaroo Point Cliffs are perfect for a stroll, and don't miss the lookout point at Mount Cootha. If you're staying a few nights, explore riverside cafes and bar scene, or take a day trip to Moreton Island for sandboarding and snorkeling. If you're still planning, check out my suggested 5-day Brisbane itinerary, which I'll link below. Although for shorter stays, you can read up on how to spend 24 hours here too. While this post highlights my favourite main towns, there are plenty of smaller beachside spots worth pulling over for. These hidden gems are perfect if you need a quiet overnight stay, a coffee break, or simply want to stretch your legs somewhere less crowded. Each has their own charm, calm swimming spots, cute bakeries, scenic lookouts, or great caravan parks right by the water. If you're travelling in a camper van and want to avoid the tourist-heavy areas, these towns are ideal for a slower, more peaceful pace. Now your Sydney to Brisbane drive doesn't have to end here. If you're loving the journey, please click here to keep going north up the east coast of Australia to Cairns. Thanks so much for watching all the way through, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you for the next one, guys.